just what the market is looking like in the Okanagan right now? What kind of market is it?
Oh, well, it's a balanced market, I guess, to put it really simply. I often hear people commenting, oh, it's a buyer's market now, or even people have had comments, oh, are we still in this multiple offer situation? So there's, a lot of misinformation out there. But, I think across BC and across Canada, you hear a lot, oh, we're in this, big correction, or it's a buyer's market, which, the two biggest markets in Canada, Toronto and Vancouver, are certainly in kind of a correction period. And Vancouver certainly is. You see absorption rates there even under 10%, which that means, and say there's 1,000 homes on the market in the month, if it's under 10%, less than 100 of them selling in a month, whereas in the North Okanagan, we see absorption rates. It's really been around 16% for the last several years, which is considered kind of right in the middle of a balanced market. When we get under 12%, that's considered a buyer's market. Above 20% is considered a seller's market. So looking at the North Okanagan and, across Canada, of course, we saw the prices run up there 2021, 2022, and then a sharp correction. But then really in the North Okanagan, I'd love to throw up the charts and stuff, but we've really been in a balanced market with not a lot of price movement over the last 3 years. Looking ahead, so there's this foreign home buyer ban that's federally in place until January 1st, 2027. That's been in place since 2023. If that comes off or is modified, that would certainly bring in a little bit more demand. I was just looking at some charts. One neat thing, I've learned getting into real estate about the statistics in the market. If you look at the listings from year to year, it is really steady. Like even, the hot markets, slow markets, those numbers remain very similar. What really affects the inventory going up or down, or how many sales, is the buyer demand. Whereas like the listings really do stay quite steady. So if we start to see inventory grow, it's, not as many sales, not as many people buying. Inventory this year compared to last year is about on par. We're slightly down, and sales are just slightly lower, I'd say, I think, in the last month. But kind of steady Eddie, since 2025 to here, and seeing what the government does with the home buyer or the foreign home buyer ban, and just, being under that 10-year average. There's, the longer we're under that, there's more pressure to come up. So let's anticipate 2027 to maybe start to see a little more upward pressure on prices. But in the North Okanagan here, yeah, we've really been kind of in a steady market for a few years now. So, and then speaking to that too, you see, like, one comment I've heard recently, oh, a lot of price decreases out there, and homes sitting on the market. And yes, that's true. But you also see homes that come up and they sell right away. And so it's really, that's the importance of pricing your home appropriately, and depending what your goals are, of course. And so from list price to sold price, we see around 97% on average. But, some homes are listed and they take price decreases and never actually sell or get canceled. And that is true. And so, like, there is a bigger gap there from the original list price down to the actual sold price if you factor all that in. But I mean, I love talking about the market, and so if yeah, on an individual basis, and there's different niches, we have seen, I guess, in the North Okanagan, that the higher priced homes maybe take a little bit of a correction over the last few years. But yeah, again, in kind of the 500 to $1 million price range where a lot of people are shopping, it's been pretty steady for a few years now. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think the Okanagan is just a place where people will always gravitate to. It is a pretty safe market, and just the lifestyle and like living in the Okanagan, it's just, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of people are, love to just come here, come there and stay. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I think BC, we're about the highest price where we are. I've heard surpass Hawaii in terms of
Wow.
average home price. I mean, thank you, Vancouver, for that. But I mean, the reason for that, is because it's one of the greatest places in the world to live, right? So people
It
want to
is.
live here, and so homes are priced appropriately. And I think, yeah, we get, when the Vancouver markets, if people have to sell off there, we get a little bit of that trickle effect up here and into the North Okanagan. Although, yeah, apparently population has actually decreased in BC, which is surprising. But I mean, that won't last forever. So
Yeah, exactly. I think that that's a temporary thing for sure. It's just, yeah, it's a great place to be.